Letitia, it's been a long time. I have something I'd like to ask you, so I'm wondering if now's an okay time?
Oh, well, if it isn't my little sister Blanca. The one that had her boyfriend stolen by me back in college and then ran back home to her parents crying and then ran off to never come back to us for 7 years. I remember you.
I understand that I've not come home for a very long time now, but I've still kept in touch with Mom and Dad. And the only reason I moved out of the house back then is because I was already planning on living on my own. And what you did to me was just going on at the same time. And as for that man you said you stole from me, he wasn't my boyfriend anymore, and we had already cut ties to one another before you started to date him.
Huh?
I told you time and time again to never go out with that man because he was bad news. But you never listened to me and kept saying that I was trying to keep him to myself and that you were so glad you were able to get him from me.
Huh?
Stop trying to act like you never heard any of that from me. I was never planning on going back out with that man, and the reason for that was pretty clear to me, and I'm sure clear to you now as well.
What are you talking about?
Don't you remember how you were only ever able to go out with him on Fridays? Well, that's because you were only his Friday girl.
What the heck is a Friday girl?
You don't know? There's 5 days during the week, before the weekend, Monday through Friday. And he happened to have a girl for every day of the week that he'd go out with. And he'd do that every week, going back to his Monday girl when the week started again.
What?
Sorry, we got a little off topic there. Now, Letitia, right now you're with my husband, Aaron, right?
Huh?
Coming over to my place to make out with him in my bed is absolutely gross, so I'd like for the two of you to stop that right now.
So you found out, huh?
Well, you got that one right.
Well, I guess that sucks, but at least now I don't really need to explain much. But unlike last time, this time I'm actually going to be stealing your man from you, and I'm not going to let him get away from me after. However, what makes this time even more different is that Aaron is married to you.
Well, you're right about that as well.
And one other thing. Just one other thing. I have something to tell you regarding me being with your husband now, and it's the perfect time for this.
What?
I'm pregnant with Aaron's baby.
Huh?
I think the day that he and I first got together was the day he got me pregnant, since we didn't have any protection then. But I'm sure that's a shock to you, since for the longest time now you've been trying for a baby, yet never got pregnant. So I'm sorry that I'll be the one carrying his kid now. I'm saying that I'm sorry that on our first try, we were able to make a baby together and didn't even have to try. And it seems that Aaron has been wanting a baby for so long now, right? Well, I don't think he'll ever be happy with a defect like you, so I'll be getting married to him now.
So this is how you learned about us having trouble making a baby? I see. Well, he and I have been talking to one another for a little while now about getting a divorce and all that comes with it.
Really?
Every single day, he'd blame me for being the reason I could never get pregnant, and it has started to really wear me down a bit. And recently, I just don't feel like being his wife anymore.
What the heck is up with that?
Well, this is all great news for you two. Congrats on getting pregnant with him.
Huh? Are you kidding me right now? You have no right being happy about us right now. I'm the one that's won, and you should not be happy about any of that.
And if that's what you want to think, then go right ahead and keep thinking that you've won. But be aware that I will be getting a settlement from the two of you, so don't dilly-dally on that.
Sure, whatever. It seems to me that Aaron is going to be paying for me as well, so you can ask for however much money you'd like from us. I mean, the guy's making around $1 million a year, so he's got the money to pay you off.
I see. So that's why you ended up wanting to steal him from me then.
Blanca, I'm sure you've already heard about us from your older sister, but everything she said was right. I've become a dad now, and I need to be responsible for the baby. And not just that, but I've also fallen in love with Letitia now. So there's nothing more you can do to get me to stay with you.
Hold on a second. I understand that we've been married for 3 years now, and you and I have been unsuccessful at having a baby together. But remember that just a little while before, you and I went in and took a fertility test at the clinic nearby? Right now, we're waiting on the results of that test, right? So what are we going to do about that?
Well, about that. As you can see, me getting your sister pregnant pretty much means that I'm not the one with the problem, so I guess it means you're the unlucky one in all of this, so sorry.
Are you really sure that you getting her pregnant is the right thing to base the answer off of?
I have a very good reason to doubt me being the one that's infertile. So I think I'll stick with the answer being that you're the one with the issues.
Is that so? All right then. But when I get the results from those tests, you don't need to hear about them from me, right? I'm okay to keep that all to myself?
Well, I already know that I'm not the one with the problems, so I don't care to listen to you tell me that you are infertile. And besides, I'm going to be the one paying you for a settlement anyway for being with your sister now, so you can go ahead and just stop talking to me from now on. I've already been given the okay from your parents, so I don't need to hear from you later that you want me back.
I'm sure that my parents aren't okay with what's going on here. Rather, they don't want your kid growing up in a messed up family without a father, so they're letting you stay with her for the baby's sake.
Well, what difference does that make? All that really matters to me now is if that baby is going to be a boy or a girl, and I can't wait to find out.
I see. Well, I'm going to ask for a lawyer to help with the divorce papers and the settlement, so you can wait to hear things from them and handle things.
Sounds good. I'll be waiting.
Blanca! Thank you so much for getting divorced from Aaron. So now, starting today, he is officially my man and nobody can touch him. I'm sure you've already gotten the money from him, right? Well, if you have, that means we can stop talking about all of this now.
I feel as though there might still be things to talk about later, but who cares, right? By the way, I'm pretty surprised to have learned this, but when you were with Aaron, you had a fiancé yourself, right?
I'm sure I did have one, but he was only making around $80,000 a year. That obviously wasn't enough to afford me for the long haul, and seeing a man before my eyes who's making $1 million a year, well, I couldn't just sit around and let him get away. So that's why I jumped on him.
I can't believe what I'm hearing, but I want to know if Aaron had to pay that guy off as well for you.
Well, of course he has. But Aaron has the money to pay him, so I don't mind. And to be honest, if Aaron wasn't going to offer to pay for me during times like these, I'd leave him in a heartbeat.
You seriously only care about people's money, huh?
Don't feel so jealous about me getting to have him now, okay? It's only fair considering I'm the one with the better butt, and I have to say that my waist has slimmed down quite a bit. If it wasn't for those two things, I'm sure your little pencil body could have kept him on your leash. By the way, we're planning to hand in our marriage papers this week. And thank you again for divorcing him before my belly started to get really large with his baby.
Oh, wow. Really? That's so great.
Blanca, I'm finally at my final month of the pregnancy.
Is that so? Well, I'm pretty busy now, so I'll talk to you another time.
Wait! I can see that you may want to act all okay about what's happening here, but I can tell you're hurting from all this news.
No, I'm over being upset about what's happened, Letitia.
You're really going to keep trying to act all tough in front of me?
I have to leave my house soon.
Slow down for just a little bit longer. I have just a bit more that I'd like to talk about. I get that you might want to get out and get back to whatever work or hobby you're up to, but you're still a single woman with no man to look forward to, so all that work and time you have to get to is for nothing.
I'm serious about not having the time right now. I'm going to be late for the plans I have to pick someone up.
Oh? You have to get there to see them that badly? Who is it?
My boyfriend.
Huh?
Bye-bye.
You already have another man by your side? What the heck, Blanca? What the hell is this piece of mail? What are these test results?
Oh, so those finally showed up at your place then. Well, when I was unpacking all my things after moving into my new place, I happened to find that at the bottom of one of my boxes. It must have gotten in there by accident, so I'm sorry for keeping you both waiting on the news. But that's why you're only getting those results from me now.
I don't give a crap about how these got here and why. I want to know what all of this means for Aaron. What does it mean he suffers from male infertility? He told me that you're the one that suffers with that crap, not him.
And right before the two of us got divorced, we took some tests to see who was in trouble. But I got results back saying there was nothing wrong with me.
Huh? Hold on a second. That means that I'm in trouble now.
I'm the one that's got issues? Blanca, why did you never tell me all of this sooner when you got the results in?
Well, even if I wanted to tell you, we had already gotten divorced by the time I got your results, and so I didn't really care to tell you.
But back then, there was still a bunch of time before Letitia was going to have her dang baby, right?
Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't know that my sister was carrying a baby that wasn't your own at the time.
Huh?
You were the one saying that the baby was yours for sure, and telling you both that the baby wasn't yours would have caused her a lot of stress. And it's not good for the baby to stress their mother when they're still inside. Now stop talking to me, Aaron.
He's asking to get a divorce from me. We had to make sure that we weren't just tripping about him not being able to have a baby, and so we took the baby's DNA, and it of course showed that it's not his. When we learned that he couldn't give me a baby, I wanted to start thinking of ways to help fix him and all of that, but why the hell did you not tell the both of us this a whole lot sooner?
Well, when you were talking about stealing him from me, the results hadn't come out yet for the tests we took.
Seriously?
Whether you were planning on taking my husband at the time away from me or not, or whether we had been divorced yet or not, I didn't know a thing about him being 100% infertile. But I'll tell you that when we were talking before the divorce, I asked him if he wanted me to tell him the results or not of the tests when I got them, and he said he didn't care. So stop trying to act as though I was trying to set you both up or anything like that, because I tried to help you both.
For crying out loud! It seems that my ex-boyfriend has found out about all of this now, and he keeps blowing up my phone about wanting me to test and see if he's the father.
Is that right?
No matter what I try and do now, this is all screwed the frick up.
Blanca, how about the two of us get remarried? After hearing that you were able to have a baby now, I guess I can't complain anymore about you, so I think it'd be fine being back together with you and all that. And I get that I can't give you a baby, but hey, at least now we don't have to worry about protection in bed, right? Well, I'm totally alright with us getting things cooking again. And I'm sure you are too. I'm going to start filling out our marriage forms and we'll be over at your place really soon. I can't wait for you to be my wife again. Blanca, what is going on here? I just went to the apartment that you and I have been living in together. And when I went and knocked on the door for you to let me in, a couple that I've never seen before opened the dang door up. When I asked the landlord what happened to you, she said the day after you and I got divorced, you moved out of the apartment with all of your things. When you do something as important as that, you have to tell me those things, okay? I even heard from your sister that you never go back to your parents' house. So where the hell have you run off to? I can't believe it, Blanca. I heard from a friend of mine. You've gotten married to another man now. Please tell me you're at your new place now waiting for me to show up, okay? You still love me and want me to be your husband again, right? Blanca.
I had totally forgotten that I turned all of the notifications from Aaron off, and so the whole time he was texting me, I never saw a thing. But it's been a week now since his last text, and I have to say I think he's given up on trying to get me to come back. Now, to start things off with what happened afterwards, the baby that my sister ended up having turned out to be the baby of a man she used to be engaged to before going to Aaron. Letitia tried to go back to him, asking for the two of them to get back together, but that didn't work. And somewhere along the way, her ex ended up getting custody of the baby and taking it away from her. So for the kid's sake, that's a huge win right there. Anyway, after what happened to her, she went back to her old ways of stealing men from other women, and one day wound up with a man who's in serious debt. As of right now, no one is really sure what happened to her and that man, but they're off the grid now. As for my ex, Aaron, being divorced for a second time due to the fact that the baby was never his and that he couldn't handle the pain of being infertile, he became super depressed and stopped going out and to work. He was later fired from that job and is now having to deal with all sorts of costly things like not being able to pay for his house and having to pay a settlement to Letitia after getting that divorce. So all I can really say about him now is that he's struggling to swim out of the deep end of life. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also,